at this time when our hearts are broken. As you heard, my name is Benson. I am the MCA for today, and not only the MCA for today, but Benson is family to me. I'll say later about that, or as we go along. But first of all, as the pastor said, we are here to remember and celebrate the life of Ben. It's our hope that every part of this service will honor a life lived among us. I'm sure you would like to join me in saying to his wife Denise, brother Joseph, his in-laws, nieces and nephews who are here, that you are in our thoughts because of your loss. Let me express the family's gratitude for your presence. The journey of grief is long, and those who walk it should never, ever have to walk alone. At times like this, nothing takes the place of friends. Your presence helps the family realize how valuable their loved one was to others, and shows what an impact is living and is dying as many. Today, we honor a man who touched many lives. If I had to talk about him, a very caring person who cared for others in the front line when he himself needed to be cared for. That's the man we are honoring tonight. We will stop to hear the stories, to laugh and cry together once again, and acknowledge that we are different because Ben was here. And I want you to know that the family does not take your presence for granted. They are deeply, deeply appreciative of your being here. And on my own behalf, on my behalf of my family, I want also to pass my condolences to the family of Ben. With that, we are going to have community members who will come in and share their love, their experience with Ben. And I'll start with one of his colleagues, who is Fred member, who was one of the instructors, was an instructor with him. Fred. While Fred is coming,
Thank you. Hi, my name is Fred Member. I don't have a lot of work for try to work out a career for my side, a family, friend, and I know most of us who are here probably know Ben more than I have, and I have more to talk with him than I have. But for the short moments we met at the campus, Ben was a very positive person for the short time I met him, and he was always supportive with the setting that we were in. We did not work pretty much in the same locations as the campus, but he could be able to share students from different same programs from different sections of the criticals, and we were able to kind of relate and connect, and things were very smooth on that process. I could say that the last time I met Ben, when he was not feeling so great, it was very heartbreaking. He was still very supportive at that time. So that's what I could say, and I'm just so sorry for the family that's going to be, that has been with Ben all along. And I'm so thankful for the hand of support that every one of you guys have put to Ben at the time of need. Your hands were visible. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred. A few remarks he has made really makes me proud of Ben, whom you will know later how close we were. So the next speaker will be Samson Yamori, who happens to have been, who comes from Ben's family, from Ben's place, and who was a classmate to Joseph, the class of 87. So, Samson.
Good evening. My name is Samson Yamori. I'm the director of I've known Benson since he was a young boy. He was like my young brother. We share a lot with Benson. We went to the same school, which was Eulogy. We went to the same school, which was thesis school. We came to America. He was 3 months ahead of me. I even took him to the airport when he was coming to America. So I've known Benson for a long time. I couldn't talk much because I'm equally hurt for the loss of Benson. One thing I would say, thank you to the wife of Benson for taking care of Benson when he was not well. I used to come there, mostly I used to come there Mondays, and I used to see how much you struggle to take care of him. For that, I thank you very much, and you are welcome. For his brother, Joseph, and his wife, you have done your best. There's nothing more you have done. We can never accept the loss of Benson, but we have to try to move on. The best we can do for Benson is to respect his wishes. He was a nice man, and he worked so hard to achieve and remove his family. There's another family like Felix and the rest of his nieces and nephews here. Please follow the generosity of Benson. He was a very, very generous man. Mr. Silva was our student. He was my student. And he know Benson very well. And those who know Benson very well will say he was a very, very generous man. Lastly, we are going to need your support and your prayer as you have been doing it before. Don't forget, when you see his wife, his family, always welcome them to your heart and your prayer. In Jesus' name, I pray.
Thank you, Samson. I wish I was your student. But the truth is that it is the other way around. So, well, I'll explain that. This time I'll take you to give one more chance to the choir to come up and give us 2 more pieces of songs. As they come, I'll say a little about Benson as they are coming over. I knew Benson way back in 80s when I think he was in middle school. And that time I was teaching in their place. After he went to high school, he was with my brother, and they used to come to my place all the time. Yeah, I was just waiting.
In front of you is a Kenyan Community SDA Church. This is where Josephat, Rachel, and Brother Benson were the members of the church and their family. We're here to comfort you, to say Pauline, and we're here together. That's why we are here today, to support you. We say Pauline, and we ask God to give you the strength to carry you through. The song we are going to sing is calling, that Jesus is standing at the door knocking for you to enter, for him to enter, sorry. If you hear his voice, it's important that you let him in, because as you can see, we don't know who's next. This one is not our home, we are just the sojourners. Be blessed as you listen to this song. It's in Swahili. Swahili is the language that will be talking in heaven. So we encourage all of us to learn that language. Karibuni.
Anapisha, ndani
Thank you, KCC, for those nice songs. For those who didn't understand what they were saying, first one was giving us a promise of how God will wipe our tears when that time comes. While the second one was almost emphasizing a similar thing, that there's time and season for everything, and there will be that time when all of us will one day see Benson before the Lord. Now, Benson was an instructor. He had his students here, and this time I will gladly welcome one of his students, Ghana Smith. Please come and share with us your experience.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Donna Smith. Professor Benson O.Nyangau was one of my clinical instructors while I was in nursing school at St. Paul College. I had met Professor O.Nyangau before he became my clinical instructor. I was introduced to him by his lovely wife, Janice. I met Janice at Hennepin Technical College in 2012. We became friends, and she invited me to her house where I met her husband. As a clinical instructor, Professor Benson was very thorough while facilitating us students. He had a love for learning, and it showed in the delivery of his presentation and in the feedback that we obtained from him. He was compassionate, empathetic, considerate, and kind-hearted. He was always willing to go the extra mile to help us as students to be successful. I can recall during the briefing at clinical, he would inform us what to expect when we become nurses. He wanted to ensure that we perform tasks thoroughly so that we could transfer this knowledge to the real world. He taught us about charity, it is very important that we should remember to chart all nursing cares, because if we did not chart, it wasn't considered done. I learned many important information from Professor Nyangau. One important thing that he taught me was to always check to ensure that delegated work is completed, and to double check my own tasks to ensure that I completed them. This habit has remained with me and contributed to me being a more efficient nurse today. I can recall Professor Nyangau at the clinical site standing beside the student, watching them pass medication. His hands would be in his pocket while he looked across the shoulders, while he looked sideways at the mark, while the student said schedule medication, and expectantly he would randomly call out, "Donna, it's your turn." As I walked towards the medication cart, I washed my hands, then I started to read the mark, then set up the medication and dial the insulin pen to the order according to the mark. Professor Nyangau put then fixed me and medication and said, "What is this meds for?" As nursing student, he ensured that we know what the residents was taking the medication for and the side effects of the medication before we could administer the medication. Professor Nyangau has helped me to become a proud nurse today, and has helped many other students to become licensed nurses. He had touched many lives, including mine. He will be truly missed. He is gone. However, his legacy lives on in many lives that forever change because they met Professor Nyangau. According to Timothy, Professor Nyangau had fought a good fight, and he had finished his course. Henceforth, there is laid up for him a crown of righteousness. My sincere condolences to his wife Janice, my Jamaican sister, and to Josephat, his brother, who was instrumental in helping me to obtain a nursing position at Centennial Garden. Also to Rachel, Diane, the rest of the family, relatives, friends, co-workers, and the Kenyan community. We have experienced a great loss that is irreplaceable. May God carry each of you during this time of bereavement. My prayers are with you during this challenging time. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana. Those are the true fiction words that represent Benson. And Dana, if there is anything that you think was not right, I will take the blame, because I was Benson's teacher too. So, but I know Benson as one of the most caring and fine person I've ever taught. The next speaker, I will hand it over to his place of work. I will ask Mr. Enoch Kebati to come and bring his team from Mount Olivet. So as he's coming, as I told you, I've known Benson for a long, long time, since he was a young kid.
Thank you, the MC, for the day. As you're right, my name's Enoch Kebati. I have known Benson for many years. When I first came to this country, we started working together at a place called Luther Manor as nursing assistants. And then we moved to Providence Place before we came to Mount Olivet home, where we have been working for the last 10 years. So Benson was a very good man. His heart was very clean, very hardworking. He loved education, and he loved people who could provide competent care. So for us at Mount Olivet Nursing Home, we have really lost a very caring co-worker, and we will truly miss him. To the family of Benson, I want to thank you so much for the good care you gave Benson. I used to come here a lot, and I saw firsthand the care Denise, the wife, and the brother, and that young man, the nephew, that you gave to Benson. The last few days before he passed were so hard on us because we saw how he declined, and it was very, very hard. So thank you so much for the good care you gave him. To the Mount Olivet staff team, I know you have been doing a lot. I know there's people who have been cooking for him, sending food to him, and donating something small to help him push with his life, especially when he was sick. So I want to say thank you so much for the good work that you did. I was speaking on behalf of the staff, and can I see by the show of hands how many staff are from Mount Olivet Kevin? So you see, it's almost the whole room. So at this time, I'm going to invite Roger to speak on behalf of the administration.
Thank you, Enoch. Thank you, everyone, for coming today. Benson, we are also blessed that we got to know him. Because I can tell you on behalf of administration, it wasn't just his co-workers that talked about him and that needed to see him every day. He worked so hard. It was the family members who depended on him. He was there so much. He was our supervisor, facility supervisor. He took care of everything. I knew as administration that I could rest easy if Benson was there. We hired Benson when he was just a nursing assistant, and he was fantastic. And he started just a couple years after I did. He told me right off the bat, we need you to go back to school. We need you to be the administrator someday. And I said, Benson, that's never happening. I hate school. So Benson continued on school because he loved education. He became an RN. He, in all of my 25 years of doing HR, he is the one person that stands out to me as someone who excelled at everything he did. While he was being an RN, and he became our supervisor very quickly because he was so smart. I myself went back to school and got my administrator's license. He knew it well before I did. Benson started teaching. He told me, you need to teach. That's never going to happen, Benson. And this year I started teaching at you. He was wise. He knew way more than I ever did, and more than I ever will. As administration, we are so thankful for the deputy he dedicated to this facility. He sat with people while they were passing. He sat with families who were grieving. He sat with colleagues who were going through hell and back. We are so thankful. I'm thankful to his family who cared for him so much. May he rest in peace, and I look forward to seeing my brother Ben again.
Thank you, Mount Olivet. We are so pleased to hear the much work and care that was from Benson. who we have known for a long time, that whenever he puts his hand, he really puts his heart through in whatever he puts in. In the time he came to the U.S., Benson gave me a call, and he told me he didn't have where to go, so I welcomed him to my house. That time, we were working, we were living in a small apartment, but we gladly welcomed Benson to our apartment, and he was here as a student first. So you can, for those ones who knows what a student undergoes here, is that you are limited to the time of work, you are supposed to work, you are supposed to go to school full time, and you are supposed to have less privileges around. That's how Benson started in this country. But the Benson I knew, who came from a humble background, very loving parents, who really struggled to bring the whole family up. I knew the whole family because I was a teacher to almost everyone in the family. So when he came here, he told me, "Sir, I really want to make changes to my life, to our lives, and our family's lives." So I told him, this is a country of opportunities. You are welcome, and the sky is the limit. And surely that you can see that the sky was the limit for Benson. The time he was here, I want to be brief before I bring the next speaker, is that when he was working so hard, 20 hours a week, as limited as they are supposed to be for international students, he could still spare time, spare little money to send to his mom. He could still spare money to help his family. And the climax was Benson, as a student, he could welcome and house members of his family. And tonight, we are with the kid he saw from the first day to date. Eulogy, where are you? That's Eulogy, who Benson had from the first day to this day. He worked so hard as a student, taking care of him day and night. I can't talk enough about the care of Benson. He was given such a huge hurt that it's not easy to come across people who have such a kind of hurt like Benson had. I'm not surprised when I hear these stories from his students, from his colleagues, from his neighbors, from his schoolmates, if that is true who Benson was. With that, I want to welcome Pastor Ezra to change gear to another section of the program.
All right. One of the things I always wonder as I sit in these kind of gatherings is a question of how shall I be remembered? And if I had my way on that day, I'd probably say, the Lord, open my ears a little bit and my eyes so that I can hear as they speak. Sometimes we wait until it's too late for us to say the good things about someone. Life is so short and so precious. So please take time to celebrate and appreciate one another. So to do so, we might not be able to have time for everyone to say what they can say about Brother Benson. All of you chose to be here voluntarily because one way or another you engaged, interacted with him, and he touched you. People might forget the days, people might forget the date, but they will never forget how you make them feel when you engage with them. So I'm going to invite the choristers to join us. We've come here to comfort the family. We're going to meet the family. But I want to invite the choristers to come here. And as they come here, we're going to take our bulletin, our program. There's a song there that is song number 530. It says, "It is well with my soul." I want to give you a story as the choristers get the mics. The writer of this song, his name is Horatius Passion. He had lost his house through fire in Chicago. So he decided that he was going to send his family to Europe for a vacation. So he got his wife and his 3 daughters, bought them a ticket, and together they were headed, it was back in the days, they were headed to New York. Please, choruses, I want you to stand next to me here so that we can sing together. As they were headed to New York, he got a call for work and he came back. So he got them to the boat and they were sailing to Europe. And halfway through their journey, they experienced some turbulence. And the boat capsized and everyone perished except for the wife. A telegram was sent, a message was sent back home, and when he received the message, it said, only I survived from the wife. In that moment, he took a pen and paper, and this was the tribute that he wrote, and he said, "It is well with my soul." We might not have a chance, all of us, to speak, but I'd like to invite you all to rise as we sing this song on behalf of the family. And this is our tribute to the family. Take your book, up at the page is song number 530, and meditate in the words if you cannot understand what they say, the flow of the song, but listen to those words from a gentleman who had lost all his family except for his wife who has survived cemetery.
He loves more. comfort in heaven. Though we stand here mourning with tears in our hearts, with pain in our hearts, with questions that don't have answers, we want to echo the words of Horatio saying, even so, can you help us that it may be well with our soul? That on that day when the trump shall resound, the clouds will be rolled back and Christ shall descend, and Sister Janice can look up and see Benson and will be excited to be reunited with him. That on that day when Brother Joseph and the rest of the family, as today we stand and write this poem to them, looking at the casket of our brother, that this may just be temporary because you're coming to take us home soon. So my Father, my God, and my Lord, even so, help us that it may be well with our souls. In Jesus' name, amen. This time we are going to meet the family. We are going to meet the family, and I'm going to invite Brother Joseph to bring to us the family. For the Bible says, blessed are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted. We want to take this time to know who are those that we came to comfort here together. So the entire family can come up here as Brother Joseph introduces you all, and then we'll proceed from there. So the entire family, the time is now. So I'm going to ask you all, please don't leave. This is the most important part of this session that we've got here today.
First want to take this moment to give you, how to say, a word of thanks for all of you that found time to be with us, and all those who have joined us online. On behalf of my family, this is a happy moment. To myself, this is a disappointing moment. But before I say more, I would like to introduce the family, and as they go to sit, then I will take over. I'll start right from my far right. This is Jasmine. She is my daughter. Next is Felix O.Nyangau. He's my nephew. He's the one that was totally in charge of Ben, because he stayed with them. He knew what was going on. He took care of him when Janice was at work or when we were away.
Thank you for coming to pray with us, and thank you for everything you've done for us, and keep remembering us in prayer. We will talk more after the introduction.
This young guy is my son. His name is Isaac McCoy. You want to say something?
Thank you for coming and with us again.
Next is my son, Kieran. Ben took care of him right from day one.
It's great. Excited to see how that affected every single one of us in the room. It warms my heart that he really impacted all of us. Thank you.
Next is my nephew, Samuel Nagaka.
Well, I don't want to say much. Much has been said about Uncle Ben. And it's my feeling that for those of us who are left behind, we continue with his rich legacy that he has left behind, especially on the part of education that has been emphasized about, that he really was most passionate about. And for the entire community, I know it's a loss for all of us. But at this moment, I just want to say that we are really grateful for your support and for Pastor and all the religious leaders who are leading us in this journey of faith. I want to say that we're grateful, especially when Uncle made that decision to be baptized. You all rose to the occasion and took it upon yourself to baptize him. And as he goes to sleep, he sleeps in faith, knowing that one day we shall meet him in heaven. I'm grateful, and it's just heartbreaking, but you just have to take it because really not much you can do. Well, thank you for everything.
The last one is my son. His name is Welburn McCoy.
Good evening. My name is Weldon McCoy. To take this time to not only mourn but to be grateful. Even 1 minute spent with Ben is a grateful moment. So we recognize back on the memories that we've all had with him, the impact he's left with us, and we swear today to never forget his contributions, his energy, and his presence in our world. Death is not something to be sad about. It's an exciting thing, especially when he's left an impact, especially when somebody's left an impact such as Ben. I apologize for the difficulty in this tough time, but always challenge us all to look at the silver lining of all moments, such as all being present together through this difficult time. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being here.
Let me take this time now to introduce my wife, Rachel, to speak a word.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to take this time to say thank you for everyone for coming to comfort us. Our hearts are in pain. We have lost a friend. We have lost a brother-in-law. We have lost a husband. We have lost an uncle, a cousin, a co-worker, a teacher. Name it all. The community is in pain. The man who loved education, the man who loved what he did. For the time I've known him as my best friend, not as a sister-in-law. We shared, we talked things which sometimes I could not think that is supposed to be said to my brother-in-law. But unfortunately, Benson is gone. I say thank you to Workplace, Mount Wolfett. May God continue to be a family as you are. I take this opportunity to say thank you to my husband, to say thank you to my sister Janice. For the last 3 months, we have worked tirelessly to make sure this man right here, he is who he was. Clean man, very conscious, he wants to know everything around. We saw Benson declining each day, every day. It became very difficult for us, me as a nurse, to see my fellow nurse degrading and becoming helpless. To my friends who have reached to us, our neighbors, I sincerely say thank you. Benson took time, he talked to us, unfortunately, he stopped talking. Continue to pray for us as we look forward to that journey to take him home. Lastly, to my beloved church, KCC, thank you for accepting the call from Benson. You did your part, and I believe he's resting in eternal peace. Thank you. Farewell to my brother Benson.
At this time, I want to bring to you the widow, the wife of Benson. She has a word, so I encourage her to stand here and share the word with all of us. Please, Janice.
Tribute to my late husband, O.Nyangau. I had the opportunity and the privilege of being the wife and partner of a wonderful, loving, kind, and God-fearing man. Today, I speak with great regret and pain as I mourn the death of my best friend and husband, Benson. Benson, I met some 10 years ago. Little did I know the person who I eventually became my closest friend and husband would be taken away from me so soon. Benson was soft-spoken, caring, had a deep love for his family and his homeland, Kenya. It's no doubt that Benson, my husband, clearly wanted to return home in the event of his demise. I am still in this belief that sickness has taken you as you have always been so strong. Benson, my husband, was a hard worker, a very dedicated person. His life taught me unconditional love, and his death taught me kindness. I am grateful that I have the opportunity to share his dreams, hope, love, friendship, and much more. He was a man who admired and cherished by many. Benson, my sweetheart, stood by me and his family throughout. His selflessness was seen by those who knew him. I remember the first time we met, as it was yesterday, and I will always cherish our final moments together. I take comfort in the scripture that promises that weeping will endure for a while and that we will meet again. Benson, my husband, you will always be in my heart, and the love I have for you will never die. At this moment, I want to acknowledge and thank the Mount Olivet Care Center, nursing home where my husband worked, and all Benson colleagues, family members, and friends for your love, prayer, and support during this time. I also want to especially thank the Kenyan Community Church, the whole Kenyan community, and my family and my friends for your kindness and support, for your prayers, and for your well wishes. I'll repeat the 23rd Psalm. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness. For his name's sake, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff may comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of my enemy. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forevermore. Thank you, Lord.
On behalf of myself and on behalf of my family, I want to sincerely thank you for being a part of us. Before Ben's death, I can say that as Ben was our youngest in the family. He's my immediate follower. When he's your immediate follower, there are so many things that you share in common. I so got privileged as a family member after we went through school. Ben was behind me. He kind of copied from me most of the things as we went through school. As most of those people that were with us in the same school, or who come from the same neighborhood with me, they can attest to that. I know, coming from a background that most of us come from, struggles were there in life. But setting the right goals from our parents was a great guide. And we took life very seriously. We took advice very seriously. I remember when I graduated and became one of the teachers in Kenya, by then Ben was still in high school. He copied from me and wanted to become something or somebody better than he was before. When we came to the United States, Ben went through school. His ambitions were always very high. Competition was very live. And he always wanted to be a better somebody, of which he did up in the last minute. I know the rest of my family members way back home. They are really happy. I've shared moments with them. We have made several calls back and forth, but they have never come to terms that this has happened. For those of us who are here, my family and Janice, we have witnessed it all. Having a family member who is sick from what he was, the pain that he underwent through was horrible. Times that he could not sleep 24 hours. That was a painful experience. Very painful to the extent that we say, let him rest. I have one or two things to share with you. Ben never at one time said that he was sick. Even when we talk with him, Ben will not tell you that I'm sick. The last 1 week to his listening of his passing on, then told us clearly that he was not sick. He said, I'm not sick. What is happening to me is I'm having side effects to the medication that I'm taking right now. Which means he fell to the bitter end and wanted to be the same person that he was before the disease. It's a great lesson for all of us to emulate. That even in difficulties, even in times when you are down, you will always remain strong. I remember even when we went through the therapy sessions that we had, they went through several chemos. He would come home, stay for 1 hour, off to work. Dennis would say, hey, Dennis, going back to work. But because he knew how he was healing himself, he never wanted to stay at home. Because he knew staying at home would put him down. So he was always at work. Even when he receives treatment that would really put most of us down, he remained very strong. Another thing that I learned from them, he made me restless. I've been very restless throughout. Why? He took over most of the roles in the family. Financial roles, and even making several calls to people, even when I'm not able to reach them right away. Most of the information I could get it right from him. Most of the tasks way back home, then we would take them. Or even when we're supposed to send some financial contributions, even when things happen home, I don't get bothered because he will take charge and then he will send me the report. I don't know whether I was because I was the elder son here to him or because of the respect he owed to me. Because I had also done a lot to him. So kind of we took charge and say, hey, it's your time to now relax, let me take charge. That now creates a big gap to me and to the rest of the family. Then, as I can say, knew how to make relationships work. I know I've shared a lot with his co-workers. And I know the experience they have gone through. And I know what they have gained from them. It never takes anything away from you to be good to people. Always, in what you do, in wherever you are, do your very best. And be who you are. Try to avoid two-sided. Be who you are, and people will always understand you, people will always come to you, people will always get advice from you. And that's what we teach our young generations to emulate from him and from all of us. Friendship at work is very, very important. I like to thank Mount Albert Carefree. That is a family, a total family. I've been in the United States for long, but I've not seen that happen. Rogers and upon your team, I'm very humbled for your presence and for all that you give to Benson. I say this not that I want to praise them. I say this because all afternoons I've been in Ben's house. I work in the morning, I work 4 afternoons I've been in Ben's house. This is the time you see 3, 4, 5, 6 people from the same care field, not to mention the ones who pass in the morning, just because of the love of their co-worker. Let's do that to all of us wherever we work. It creates that kind of community that we're looking for. All of us come from different regions of the world. But while we are here, we are brothers and sisters, joined with one another, avoid boundaries. Ben opened himself, and that's why maybe I saw that. And I even told them this is a well-knit community, a community that trusts one another, a community where most of our people need to work. Why don't we take that to our areas of work and do the same? It's a challenge to all of us. I know the time ahead of us is long. After today, we will start the channel to Africa by the week of 13th, between the 13th and 15th. And thereafter, Ben will be laid to rest on the 24th of this month. It's a long journey. It involves a lot. We humbly request for your prayers. Last but not least, Ben knew that this time was almost coming. By accepting to be baptized and surrendering himself to God was a great gesture. Amen. That he prepared himself for it all. I want to thank sincerely the pastor of the church and the elders of the church for having made that possible. And by him accepting to be baptized was a kind gesture to all of us. And I also want to thank his wife for having enabled us to do that in a very kind way. Besides, I want to take this moment to also recognize the people that I worked with then. They may not be in the congregation. They have given me several calls. They have shared their thoughts with me. And I sincerely thank each and every one of you, all of them. As you continue to support us, especially in these times of when we are weak like this, we appreciate your presence, we appreciate your prayers, and we appreciate whatever way you can help us. Hope that you are aware of us before. Finally, I want to thank the community for standing up in support of us when this happened. When the community stands in support, the burden is lifted and our hearts become brighter than before. No debt, as I can say, is old. Every day is new to the member who faces that debt. For my brother, it was a heavy burden to me to see him go. Watching him go the last minute and taking the last breath was really hard. But as a Christian, I want to go back and say that we don't want to mourn as people who don't have hope. With that hope that we are building ourselves, it gives us the hope that there's life after this.
So as we lay to rest in the coming days, we have that hope. We have that hope that we will meet again. On behalf of my parents who are not with us or who passed away some times back, I know they would have loved you to see them through in everything, especially at the climax of this academic career. And they would have sat down to enjoy the fruits. Like me and everyone else, we were proud to see him through his academic journey. And we were going to sit down and support him perform his duties, which he never got a chance to do. But even so, we know that struggles never end. I can challenge you tonight, even when he knew that he was still sick, he was still working on his books. He was still working hard to make sure everything is accomplished. For those of us who are very strong, who are not weak, if you want to take your life journey academically, please take your moments and do it right. Take your moments and do it right. For parents who are here, who have young ones, who want to go to school and do their very best, encourage them and let them do their very best. Without taking much time, let me conclude by saying I am really, really humbled for your presence here. Finally, on behalf of Ben, if there is somebody in the congregation or anybody that is watching us online, if there is anybody that might have wronged them in one way or the other, I ask for your forgiveness. If Ben might have wronged you in one way or the other, as a brother, I ask that you forgive him. And together, we will move towards the right path. Thank
Thank you, Brother Joseph, for introducing the family to us. And once again, our apologies, our condolences, Sister Janice, Brother Joseph, and everyone else, Pauline and Pauline's son. We are going now to the part, the Bible says, blessed are they who mourn, for they shall be comforted. And Pastor Simon is going to briefly and shortly here bring to us the word of comfort. But before then, to prepare us for that moment, we're going to have the KCC Church Choir give us one song. Immediately, we will be followed by the Eulogy that will be read by Felix. He will be followed by scripture reading from Brother Isaac. We'll have a special poem that will be brought to us by Jasmine. The choristers will lead us with the song Does Jesus Care? And after that, we'll have Pastor Simon and prayer of dedication with all the ministers of the gospel here. And also we'll have a chance to hear from the spiritual side of also Sister Janice and the pastors here. That is the flow of our program.
The song that we're going to sing, it's about that new heaven that is coming, where there will be no more pain, no more death, and no more tears. May you be comforted as we sing this song, because it encourages us that as we mourn the way our families have said, we cry at night, but joy comes in the morning. We wait for that glorious morning to see our loved ones. So be blessed with this song.
Thank
forgot one thing, thanks as you're coming. I want to thank the Mount Olivet Carefield members that have frontiered to travel with us. There's a big number that have frontiered, and they have indicated that they will be part of the team in Kenya. So to all those members, thank you, and thank you for being part of Penny's family.
Nephew to Uncle Benson. And before I read the words here, I would like to say one or two words about Uncle Benson. First of all, Uncle Benson was like a father to me. He took care of me from a young age, even when he was all here and I was all over there in Kenya. He took me into his wing and he raised me. He made sure that I moved here to be with him. Even when I was resistant, sometimes I didn't want to come, sometimes, but he made sure that I have to move here. Uncle Benson, I have never seen anyone who could read or think of school when he is in so much of pain. This man was something else. Even now, I can't understand how he could think of his books when he's in pain. The last time I was with him when he was reading, like a month and a half ago, he went to do his exams. He's in pain and I'm asking him, Uncle, you are in pain. Why book for an exam when you are still in pain? And he looks at me, he smiles, and he continues reading. You know, he was a one-word person. And this has taught me a lot. Reading doesn't have to stop even when things are going wrong. And Ben was not only a supporter to me, but the entire family of O.Nyangau and many other people that I don't know. Another thing Ben taught me from things I've lived with him for the last 2 years is what it is to be a husband and a man in the house. I have learned a lot from him, and I have learned what it makes one person to listen when another person is talking from him. So to me, I want to say thank you so much. Uncle Benson, if you're here, wherever you are. So until then, I'm sure we'll meet again in heaven because you made a right choice. Uncle Benson O.Nyangau was born on September 26, 1973, to the late Laban Nyangau Nyapa and the late Mama Sabina Uboke Oriku in Kenya. He was married to Aunt Janice Jermaine in 2012. He was a brother to Aunt Paris, Dad Charles Domato, Olfa Nyarieko, and Uncle Josephat Makori. He was a brother-in-law to Gladys Charles, my mom, Aunt Rachel, and Aunt Diane of United States. He was a brother-in-law to James Anyoka and the late Jomo Nyarieko. Uncle Benson was a son-in-law to Kate Rudolph of Jamaica and Michael Stewart. Uncle Benson was a cousin to James
Formosa of California, Grace December of New Jersey, Sarah O.Nyangau, and Abner Machin of Pennsylvania, among many. He was an uncle to Felix, Weldon, Samuel, Laban, Harold, Jasmine, and Isaac. And Benson he started his elementary school at his home school of Eulogy Primary, where he completed his KCPE in 1987 to join EC High School and Eulogy High School, respectively. After completing his KCSE, Benson joined Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology in 1995 and was successfully awarded the diploma in agricultural engineering in April of 1999. In 2001, Benson immigrated to the United States to start a new American dream. Benson pursued his desire for education when he joined Rasmussen University, where he was awarded an Associate of Nursing degree in professional nursing and Bachelor's of Degree in Nursing. His interest in academics did not stop there. Benson secured a chance to join Western Governors University and was awarded a Master's of Science in Nursing, Leadership and Management in 2018. Still, with high ambitions, Benson joined the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, where he was awarded a graduate degree in psychiatry, mental health nurse practitioner in May of 2021. Benson had the opportunity to serve in many healthcare facilities as a registered nurse and a clinical instructor. Before his passing, Benson was working at Mount Olivet, Careview as a registered nurse supervisor, a place he valued with passion. In September of 2019, Benson was diagnosed with colon cancer during a routine doctor visits in January. In January of 2020, Benson underwent successful surgery and chemotherapy was recommended. Throughout treatment, Benson was hopeful and persistent to the last minute. However, in August of 2021, Benson developed a fever and was admitted to Park Nicollet at St. Louis Park, Minnesota, where he stayed for a week and recovered and returned home. In October of this year, Benson gave his life to Christ by accepting baptism in preparation for his heavenly glory. On November 24th this year, Benson rested with his family on his side. My family, I would like to remind you on this verse, 1 Thessalonians 5:18. This Bible, when I read it, it always reminds me that give thanks to everything that we face. When I read, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for you in Christ. So don't forget to give thanks as we know. Thank you.
He will cover you with his safe in His care. His faithfulness will protect you and defend you. You need not fear any danger at night, or any sudden attack during the day, or any plagues that strike in the dark, or any evil that kills in the daylight. 1,000 may fall dead beside you, 10,000 all around you, but will not be harmed.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to be reading a poem for you today. Don't grieve for me, for I am free. I'm following the path God made for me. I took His hand when I heard Him call. I turned my back and left it all. I could not stay another day to laugh, to love, to work or play. Tasks left undone must stay that way. I must find peace at the close of day. If the parting has left a void, then fill it with remembered joy. A friendship shared, a laugh, a kiss. Ah yes, these things I too will miss. Be not burdened with some times of sorrow. I wish you sunshine of tomorrow. My life's been full, I've savored much. Good friends, good time, a loved one's touch. Perhaps my time seemed all too brief. Don't lengthen it now with undue grief. Lift your hearts and share with me. God wanted me now, He set me free.
We are now going to hear the word from the man of God, Pastor Simon. Pastor Simon, I see you walking backwards. As the choristers will give us a song, all of us, let's sing this song. It's a poem. It's a song written to comfort and encourage the family. And after that, we'll hear a voice, Pastor Simon. We'll go to a season of praying for the family. And we have Pastor Eulogy with us and all the ministers, if you can join us after the speaker, so that we can pray for the family.
We'll sing song number 181.
It's in your books, so please let's sing for the family. Music has a way.
As the morning, everyone who is here. I want to thank the choristers and everyone who has been here today. I want to say to the family, I'm very sorry for your loss. I didn't know that Benson was going to go that quick. Because as Josephat said, Benson was a very strong person. He used to, every time I would call, he would say, I'm doing well today. The last time I talked to him, it was on a Friday, and he said, I am feeling better today. On Monday, we have a doctor's appointment, and he's going to tell us what next. So that was the weekend came, Monday and then Tuesday. The day of Benson's passing, which was that same week, I get a text from